Okay, folks, this is the last mini lecture for chapters 21 and 22, and I see this as kind of a synthesis. And the reason I tied these two chapters together is that understanding fluxes in ecosystems is critical. And across these two chapters, we're trying to understand fluxes in energy and atoms, right? Nutrients. And the key ideas here is that these two fluxes are interconnected, right? So let's do a quick review. Energy flows through ecosystems in a way such that energy reduces at each trophic level moving upward, and energy is lost at the exchange of energy between primary producers and primary consumers, and secondary consumers and tertiary consumers, right? That energy moves up through ecosystems in a way that is reducing. Alternatively, atoms, nutrients, come into ecosystems via two main processes, either weathering of rocks or fixation from the atmosphere. And then those are cycled through repeatedly in ecosystems. And neither of these processes, either energy flux or nutrient cycling, can happen without the other. So imagine an ecosystem that has tons of sunlight, tons and tons of sunlight, plenty of carbon dioxide in the air, maybe even plenty of water, but no nitrogen. The energy flux in that ecosystem is going to be incredibly low, right? Because the nutrient cycles are out of whack. And vice versa. The nutrient cycling we described in those two mini lectures is largely dependent on microbes that are depending on decomposers, that are dependent on energy fluxes from net primary productivity through trophic cascades and back into decomposers and detritus, right? And so these two systems are completely intertwined, right? The chapters show that the ecosystems are also like connected to one another in a way that humans can really mess up. And so I didn't talk about this a bunch, but humans are changing these fluxes in major ways. And so in terms of nutrient fluxes, we're changing especially nutrient fluxes in freshwater and marine ecosystems. So spend your time in those chapters reading about eutrophication, right? And how shifts to those nutrient cycles can cause insane collapses that can then finish net primary productivity. They can wipe out net primary productivity. So humans are causing a huge impact on nutrient cycles. And this can tank energy flows. But the same is true, energy flows. But the same is true for us changing energy flows. So when we do things like removing massive amounts of biomass from forest, we not only change the available energy at each of those trophic levels, but we change some of the critical processes in nutrient cycling. So trees do amazing things like manage the rate at which nutrients leach out of an environment. So make sure in chapter 22, you read about how they actually measure these nutrient fluxes via catchment, right? They can go and say what nutrients are fluxing out of an environment. And the biomass in an ecosystem plays a huge role in shaping the gain and loss of those nutrients, right? Whether we have nitrogen fixers or no nitrogen fixers, whether we have plants that manage the flow of water and leaching or not, whether the chemical composition of the soil is enough to support these biomineralizing bacteria. So also humans, as we change energy flux, delta means change, we cause changes to biogeochemical cycles that impact nutrients. So rather than studying these two things in isolation, right? Rather than thinking, and I'm guilty of this. I talk a lot. You saw it in the composition of these lectures. I think a lot about energy flow, a lot less about nutrient flow. But the truth is that they're so closely interrelated that these two things really shape ecosystem function. And so I hope that came across in these lectures. And I appreciate y'all hanging with me through it and getting to watch it get dark outside with me. So. Yeah, these are the last lectures. I'll probably post a thank you video, but for those of you that have been watching these lectures, thanks. I really have loved teaching this class. I've loved getting to meet you students. who have come to office hours, who came out to the hikes, and I really appreciate it. I know it's not easy doing this online, and I know that you guys getting to see me teach this for the first time online was not super easy, and so thanks. Yeah, thanks for sticking around. Um, Come by after class at some point and say hi. Come see me in my office in Davie or something. So, okay, doke. See y'all. Bye.